Alright, it's only me. I thought I'd come on and do a buyer's. I don't think I've done a buyer's guide since about 2019. So I thought I'd come on tonight because I'm not doing anything and sit and bore you to death for, I don't know, 20 minutes or whatever on a long monologue like I used to do, talking about Ronnie James Dio, the solo band Dio. So in order for this note to be really dry, what I'm going to do here is I've got my record player set up. Again, this is my oldest daughter's old room, but they've all moved out now, so I'm in the house and I've got my own room now. This is my fortress of solitude. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick on Holy Diver in the background. I probably bought this vinyl copy here, I don't know, maybe about, I'm thinking probably about 1988 maybe. So I've had this for 35 years, still in good nick, still got the picture sleeve as well. So what I'm going to do is we'll wrap my needle on here, and if we put it on quiet enough then we shouldn't get muted and we can have a wee bit of Dio on in the background. Whoa! I didn't mean it. See, that's what happens when you do live videos. There we go. That's better. Hey, that jumping, man. I didn't expect that to happen. For God's sake. Right, wait a minute, I'll try and get a... What the hell's happened here? That is very odd. And it's maybe because it's Halloween. And there's strange things happen in Halloween, especially... I'll just stick on the side too, who cares, it's background music. But that's very odd. Unless somebody's been in here mucking about with my record player when they've no been in. Right, hang on, we're getting in the way of the bloody hang here. Well, I can't put Dio on. Oh well. What else have I got here? Just for having a bit of background music on, I think we'll have a bit of... What's this? Alcatraz. What album's that now? Oh, it's No Parole from Rock and Roll. Right, yeah, we'll just stick this on just so we've got some background noise in here. Hopefully this doesn't skate, or somebody has been in here mucking about with my record player. They flipping have. Very odd. Right. I'll put it down to the devil. Anyway, come back to talking about Dio. Ken, used to listen to Dio in the 80s. My pal Scott McIntyre, who I like to mention whenever I can because he's no longer here, good mate of mine, Scott. He loved his Dio. As we I would be listening to Dio in the house. So I might as well work my way through this stack of Dio. In which I should clean it. Well, I'll clean the needle later on, Chris, because it can make this video really boring if I just stick this on. But anyways, let's move on here. We'll talk about Holy Diver. Again, this is the deluxe edition CD. I'm just going to use CDs because the vinyl is kind of unwieldy to work with. Plus these have got some bonus tracks on them. What would I say about Holy Diver? Holy Diver is a classic album, although I would say it is slightly overrated. I wouldn't put it in the same... Can I always talk about how Dio had 3 classic albums with 3 different bands? I wouldn't put this in the same category as Rainbow Rising or Black Sabbath Heaven and Hell. I mean, they are absolutely stellar records. Holy Diver's pretty good, but it's no in their class. But Ken, still some cracking songs on there. Can Stand Up and Shout, Holy Diver, Don't Talk to Strangers, Straight Through the Heart, and this one's got like I think it's like a Biscuit concert on there, Ken, for 1983. Band there, Jimmy Bain, Scottish guy who came for Rainbow. He didn't come straight for Rainbow, but he'd been in Rainbow with Dio. Vinnie Appice on the drums, who'd been in Black Sabbath. And Vivian Campbell, who a lot of folk have got a real hang for Vivian Campbell. I've never seen... To me, Vivian Campbell's just like... he's a good guitar player, but... really good guitar player, but he's... somebody tell me a classic Vivian Campbell riff or a whatever. Yeah, I'm no having a go at him. I'm just saying, for my money. So that was Holy Diver. Let's just move on next, Ken. Essential purchase if you're listening to Ronnie James Dio. The Last in Line, I would probably say is a better album than Holy Diver, Ken. It doesn't go with the classic Holy Diver number on it, but Ken, some absolutely astonishing songs on this. Ken, One Night in the City, Last in Line, Egypt, The Chains Are On. And this one's got I think it's another bonus concert here if you get this one on CD. But Ken, what a cracking album cover that is. Yeah, I would say that that's an even better album cover than Holy Diver. But this Last in Line, I would probably say that's peak Dio. Ken, the first album's alright, but Ken, the Last in Line's where it's like, Ken, same band, but I think by this time they brought in a keyboard player, a guy called Claude Shell, who looked a bit like John Lord. John Lord with a mullet, if you can believe such a thing. Ken, great songs, Mystery. Ken, nice wee poppy number. Moving on next, you've got Sacred Heart, which is the same band again, although things are, Ken, the ideas are starting to get a bit daft here. Ken, the tour for this probably Dio at their biggest, Ken, playing massive venues in America like the Spectrum in Philadelphia and all they kind of places. Ken, it's still a good album. There's some good songs on there. King of Rock and Roll, good song. Sacred Heart, good song. Rock and Roll Children, Ken, classic Dio. And I'm thinking this has also got what used to be the EP called Intermission on it, which is quite strange because it's got Craig Goldie, who would come in to replace Vivian Campbell, who fell out with Dio and never fell back in with Dio. The two of them would have spat in the press for years, with Ken, Vivian Campbell calling Ronnie James Dio boring old guy and Ronnie Dio calling Vivian Campbell smelly for some reason. But Ken, Sacred Heart still going strong, but no as fresh as what Holy Diver and the Last in Line had been. So moving on next, let's get Dream Evil here, and this is where we're talking about their new guitar player, guy called Craig Goldie, American guy, massive big hair, came in for a band called Jafria, who had been in with Greg Jafria out of Angel. Ken, really good guitar player, but again a bit like Vivian Campbell. Ken, Ronnie James Dio had worked with some absolutely phenomenal creative guitar players like Richie Blackmore and Tony Iommi, but Ken, Dio for some reason didn't have the same eye for talent as what well, I don't know if it was actually Ozzy Osbourne, but whoever was spotting guitar players for Ozzy Osbourne, I always seem to get kind of better guitar players than what Dio got. But again, this is a really good album. I probably like this. This is probably my second favourite Dio album, although there is still some cheesy stuff. Again, that album cover is absolutely phenomenal. I can't remember when this came out. That album cover is absolutely brilliant. Ken, the woman lying in the bed with the guy in the window there. He's got a name, but I can't mind what it is now. Axel One. But Ken, cracking songs there. Ken, Could Have Been a Dreamer, Night People, Dream Evil, Sunset Superman. Ken, All the Fools Sailed Away, Naked in the Rain. This is really, really good stuff. And I'm thinking here on the bonus disc here, that's for some reason the first song's missing, so I'm pretty sure they played Stand Up and Shout first, but it's the remainder of Dio's set, kind of majority of it set for, I think they were the special guests at Donington in 1987. So kind of still on top here, but things are starting to go over the hill. So moving on, we get to Lock Up the Wolves. Like, I don't know what the hell Ronnie James Dio was doing here. Like, this came out in about 1990. And I'm thinking it was, when you think about the time, I'm pretty sure it was running about the same time as like Painkiller and Razor's Edge by AC/DC. I'm thinking, when I think back to the time, because Painkiller at the time, everybody was like, it's good but it's too heavy. It's no the revered classic that it is now. And AC/DC's Razor's Edge, gone really strong at the time. Thunderstruck was still a kind of fresh number at the time. And although half of the Razor's Edge is absolutely rubbish, stuff like Money Talks and Thunderstruck and Are You Ready and the song The Razor's Edge, really, really good. But then Dio, when this appeared, he'd fired his whole band, the one I was just talking about there, and he'd got in a completely bunch of new guys. I'm trying to think what their names were again. Guy called Teddy Cook on the bass, played left-handed. Drummer Simon Wright, who had just come fresh for AC/DC. Jens Johansson playing the keyboards, who maybe went on to Stratovarius, although I'm not 100% sure about that, but I think that was who that, and what was the guitar player's name? A 17-year-old boy called Ruben Robertson that played the drums, played the lead guitar, sorry. I've absolutely no idea what he went on to do, but at the time it was like, hey, this is the next big thing, a 17-year-old boy playing the guitar. Quite gimmicky, but really, really weird. So, Lock Up the Wolves, a really, really tired sounding album. You're never going to get like bad music or bad singing out of Dio. It's just like Lock Up the Wolves, you'd heard it all before. Stuff like Hey Angel and Wild One, Born on the Sun. I'm trying to think what I would probably pick as the songs that my favourite song on it would probably be Night Music. You just a song on Dream Evil called Night People. Probably the second last track there. Why Are They Watching Me? There's a song at the end there called My Eyes. Is there no a song later on Master of the Moon or something called My Eyes? Well, we'll get there. But Lock Up the Wolves, the writing on the wall was for Dio. And at this point, 1991ish, he folded the Dio solo band and went back to the Black Sabbath with Tony Iommi, Geezer Butler and Vinnie Appice, who were the Heaven and Hell Mob Rule lineup. Made another album, Dehumanizer, which is up there with Black Sabbath's best in my opinion. When folk talk about Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules, if you're not talking about Dehumanizer in the same sentence, then you haven't listened to it. I mean, it's a thick sounding album. It takes a wee while to get into the sound of it, but once you do, it's a bit like, I don't know, it's like Dio Sabbath doing 70s Sabbath rather than the kind of hard rockier elements that they've got in Heaven and Hell and Mob Rules. But all that went tits up because Ozzy Osbourne in 1992 was going to retire for touring, retire for doing anything. Whatever age he was at that age, would he be 42, 43, whatever, a lot younger than what I am now. And he wanted Black Sabbath to come and support him. Ronnie Dio said no way, he was never going to do that, because him and Ozzy Osbourne, what with him being both Black Sabbath singers, they was a bit of go at each other in the press. So Dio's out of Black Sabbath again. They got Rob Halford, did the gig, and that was that. So Dio reboots the band Dio again and gets a guitar player in, a guy called Tracy G. The G is short for, I think it's a Greek name, I'm not going to try and pronounce it, but he gets him, and he gets Vinnie Appice back in the drums, who also left Black Sabbath at the time, and Jeff Pilson on the bass, who had been in Dokken and had left. So they brought out this album called Strange Highways. This was around about 1994. This was really good, Dio album, because he kind of cut back on the kind of swords and sorcery and the dragons and all that kind of stuff, and this is more kind of like Dehumanizer with Black Sabbath, kind of Dio dealing with like real world issues, singing songs about real world things, really heavy riffs. And Tracy G got quite a rough ride after Dio fans, but I think he was actually pretty good. It had some interesting guitar sounds in his arsenal that nobody had done before. Kind of again, he didn't go on to become the next guitar superstar, but you need to remember that Dehumanizer came out in 1994. Kind of, unless you were there, you can't remember. Kind of, we'd all been listening to Whitesnake up to about 1991, Ken Aerosmith, but by 1994, the total landscape of being a rock fan had changed. The generation that came in behind us, kind of the manky, unwashed rock fans, were replaced by these moaning, miserable Seattle bands with plaid shirts on that can just didn't look as if they were having any fun. Again, we'd grown up in the 80s and the early 90s with these rock bands that just made life so much fun and kind of just made it look like the best thing in the world. And then these grunge bands come in and just made rock music so crap and boring. Again, you could argue that it hasn't ever recovered from that. But next up, Dio does an album called Angry Machines, which is made of the same. This be about 1997, I'm thinking. I'm pretty sure it's the same lineup: Tracy G, Jeff Pilson, and Vinny Appice. And this one, I don't know, institutional man. There's some interesting songs on here. Hunter of the Heart, Stay Out of My Head. That's a really interesting song, but again, he's latched onto the grunge influence here. And there's a picture there that's Tracy G, Vinny Appice and Ronnie Dio, so I'm assuming by this time they'd flung out Jeff Pilson, or he'd left or whatever and went on to join Foreigner, so I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have been moaning too much about that. The bonus disc of this has got the next album I'm going to talk about, so I might as well just move on and talk about that. Dio's Inferno, The Last and Live. This was for 1998. Again with that lineup I was talking about there. Maybe the guy called Scott Warren playing live keyboards at this time. But this Ken's pretty interesting live album. This it covers just about all the bases, a bit of Rainbow, a bit of Black Sabbath. Also, if you can get the Japanese version of this, it's got live versions. I think it's After All the Dead and I for the Dehumanizer. I was knowing this one. But back in the glory days of the Pirate Bay, I managed to pick up that. It's really good. Tracy G did a really good job of him. But again, somebody told me that this live, I don't know how much truth there is in this, but somebody told me that this live album was recorded in a car park because they did the gig on the back of a flatbed truck, like so many of us have done. You can just park up the flatbed truck and set the gear up. So next we move on to 2000, Magica. I mean, again, I don't want to sound like some boring old fart talking about the good old days, but the late 90s were really, really grim for anybody. There was some resurgences in there. There was still some bands keeping it going, like Motorhead. You could always rely on a Motorhead album every year. It was going to sound exactly like Motorhead. Saxon had turned the corner, so you'd Unleashed the Beast and Metalhead and everything. And then Bruce Dickinson got back with Iron Maiden, and all the furore that caused, big time coming back and stuff. And then I remember hearing the song. It was I'd been listening to Rob Halford since he'd left Judas Priest. He'd done Fight, some of which was no bad. He did Two, which was kind of interesting, but not really what we wanted. But then there was a free, I think it was maybe Classic Rock magazine, a free magazine, a free CD with a magazine, and it had the song Resurrection on it. And this was really, really exciting. This was the kind of heavy metal song that you hadn't heard for flipping years. So I mean, the year 2000 to me, always represents like the Satan coming, like the Satan golden age of heavy metal for me. It was as if all the folk that went away in the 90s and had got married and had weans and everything, like me and kind of folk a bit older than me, were coming back to these bands. These bands had went through that stage of they're all farts. They need to go away to becoming like institutions, and that folk wanted them to be there. Even though they were there every year, folk were kind of comfortable with them being there. So that I know that's a bit a long-winded go round there, but that's what we've got here with Dio's Magic album. They dumped all the grunge influences again. This is 2000. I'm trying to think. I think it was maybe Craig Goldie played the guitar on this. It was Craig Goldie, Simon Wright on the drums, and Jimmy Bain on the bass. And Magic is actually a concept album. It's something about aliens or whatever. Songs are really good. Sound like Dio. The only problem is the songs are all the same tempo. There's no fast songs. There's maybe a couple of really slow songs, but there's nothing really. There's no stand up and shout or whatever, or wee rock. Just to push the thing on with a bit of heavy metal force. But Magic is pretty good. Get hold of that if you can get it. Next up, Killing the Dragon, which I'm thinking was maybe about 2002. And after, I think it's maybe Doug Aldridge had took over the guitar playing by this time. I think the rest of the band pretty much the same. But Killing the Dragon, again, this is one of the albums where some of it is first class and other songs are just forgettable, and there isn't any like rhyme or reason what kind of track listing they've put you. Killing the Dragon, that's like an 80s Dio song. Rock and Roll's good, Push is good. My God, some of these songs I can't even remember. But Killing the Dragon, it's alright. It's maybe not just as good as Magica, but it's keeping the Dio thing ticking along, and it's what folk wanted, was a bit of nostalgia. Let's go back and enjoy Dio like we used to do in the 80s when he was a big time. Here we go again, another live album. This time it's Evil or Divine, live in New York. Try and think, this come out with a DVD or a video or whatever. The set list is just exactly the same. With Dio there was never really any surprises. Around about 1998 he was playing Stargazer, but I mean Stargazer never ever showed up in the live album. And Stargazer's one of the weird songs. On the studio album, Stargazer's absolutely phenomenal, but it just doesn't seem to work live. Even Rainbow couldn't make it work live. So I'm talking about Stargazer, but it's no on this album. But you still get Don't Talk to Strangers and Man in the Silver Mountain. I'm looking down the track list. There's absolutely no surprises whatsoever. And all the Magica stuff is gone. You would think they would maybe even keep... No, hang on, they kept Fever Dreams in there just before Holy Diver. So that's one of the things I've just noticed that. There's a mash-up there, track 2. They've mashed up Egypt to Change Their Own and Children of the Sea, which does not work. Just does not work. It's just the stupidest thing ever, but I'm not trying something different. Who knows? Next up, Master of the Moon, which is the last Dio studio album. This, I think, is Craig Goldie back on the guitar, and I think it might be Rudy Sarzo playing the bass on this. I can't remember, I can't say it in the book, but I'm not going to go back in it. That song's called My Eyes. But they I don't know, but probably pretty forgettable. Master of the Moon. Again, like I say, you don't get bad singing or bad music. It would probably just be mere, you've heard it before and there's nothing really that inspirational about it. All the classic Dio stuff had been done. And Dio was a bit of a Luddite. He liked things the way he liked them, never progressed any. And I like it. I like folk like that. They're marking artists, because you know what you're going to get. Next up, Holy Diver live. I remember the tour for this. What actually happened was the show. See that? The show started and it played, I don't know, 3 or 4 songs, and then Holy Diver started, the album in sequence, and then more songs at the end. But what they've done here is they've split the thing up here and put the Holy Diver album paired to the concert on CD1, and all the other songs on CD2 there. But the thing about the Holy Diver album is they've stuck a drum solo in Gypsy and a guitar solo. I think it's maybe in Shame on the Night, maybe. So playing the album in sequence with a big guitar solo and drum solo in it, Ken, who wants that? Nobody. And Ken, it's a guitar solo and drum solo by guys that didn't actually play on the original album. Ken, it would have worked nice in the venue on the night, but if you're releasing it as an album, it shouldn't be happening. Interesting stuff on there. CD2 there, Ken, Tara Woman. Sign of the Southern Cross, really good. Gates of Babylon, it sounds alright on this, Ken. This is Doug Aldridge back in guitar again, Ken. Yeah, Doug Aldridge and Craig Goldie seem to high five each other on the way in and out of Dio in the early 2000s, but this is Doug Aldridge playing guitar. I've got a bootleg version. It's a concert for another concert for the same tour, doing the Holy Diver thing, and it's Craig Goldie playing the guitar, Simon Wright on drums and Rudy Sarzo on the bass, and it is absolutely smoking. It's a lot better than the version on the Holy Diver live. But I'm going on and on here. I was trying to keep these videos quite short, but I end up sitting here all night. Once I get started talking about the music, I can't stop. So moving on next, I just got Dio live at Donington, which is a double CD set of the shows for 1983 with the Holy Diver lineup, in 1987 with the Dream Evil lineup. CD2 is the same concert that was on the Dream Evil one, still missing Stand Up and Shout for whatever reason. I don't know whether it was maybe just no recorded right. And the first one, the CD1, 1983, Donington, I think Dio were maybe about fourth on the bill or whatever. But big breakthrough gig for them in Britain. And when you look at the set list there, it's mostly the Heaven and Hell stuff, backed up with some classic Rainbow and Black Sabbath. So I mean, you can't, you could only muck that up for yourself there. But Dio at Donington, worth getting, although it's the same old stuff. Next up, Dio Finding a Sacred Heart, live in Philadelphia, 1980, I think it's 1986. And this is also the soundtrack for some film that they dug up for someone. I actually thought it was maybe going to be the special for the Spectrum, which we'll talk about in a minute. But it's a film for the Sacred Heart tour with Craig Goldie on the guitar. Again, the set list doesn't really change that much. It's the same old stuff, the same old Rainbow songs, the same old Black Sabbath songs, Heaven and Hell, Man on the Silver Mountain. Never really changed anything up, but good quality recording this with the Sacred Heart band, but with Craig Goldie on guitar, run about that intermission time. Next up here, this is an interesting one. This is Dio live in London at the Hammersmith Odeon, or whatever it was. Hammersmith Apollo 1993 as they call it here. This is an interesting concert. This is a Strange Highways tour, which again, it's the same old stuff. I don't know how many times I go to say it. Holy Diver, Stand Up and Shout, Heaven and Hell, but there's quite a lot of the Strange Highways material in there. And Ronnie James Dio, Jeff Pilson's a really good singer. In Dawkin, it was Don Dawkin, Jeff Pilson and Wild Mick Brown. The three of them could really sing. So, well, Don Dawkin couldn't, but the two backing singers could. So you could get some really cracking three-part harmonies there. The thing about this is the backing singing behind Ronnie James Dio, there's some really cracking harmony singing going on. You got Jeff Pilson that can really wail and sing, you know what I mean? So this one really worth picking up. And again, there's a DVD Blu-ray of that, which if you want to get that. We're getting towards the end here, thank God. This one, Diamonds, the best of Dio. This was pretty good. I've got this in LP. But I think this has got an extra couple of tracks on it. But it's a good place to pick up if you want to start off with a bit of Dio. because it touches just about all the bases there that you would want for a sampler album. Ditto this one, The Collection, which was a kind of cheapo release. There's some interesting stuff on there. There's some live tracks here that probably came out on the bonus discs here. But I think that's in chronological sequence, and you can notice at the end there there's like one song for Lock Up the Wolves and one song for Strange Highways. I mean, the person that compiled this knows exactly where the gold is with the Dio thing. Interestingly, moving on here and picking up with some of the unofficial releases, I was talking about the Dio special for the Spectrum there, which when I'm mentioning Scotty, I can't talk about special for the Spectrum without mentioning Scott McIntyre. I mean, Scott McIntyre loved Dio like so much. He loved Iron Maiden, he loved Dio, and again, his big brother used to work night shift, and we would sneak into his big brother's room. Well, I wouldn't, he would, and he would get whatever video it was, kind of it'd be Live After Death, or what was it, 12 Wasted Years. We would sit and watch these things. Dio special for the Spectrum. That's what this is. Kind of, if you can pick this up, you maybe find it on Amazon. It's Dio. It's called Philadelphia Freedom, but it's actually it's a live broadcast, simulcast that they did over the radio that some gangsters decide to slap on a CD with minimal packaging and put out. But I mean, the sound quality is pretty good. Worth listening to this. Even worth listening to for hearing Vivian Campbell mucking up Stand Up and Shout, although I'm pretty sure it was Ronnie Dio's fault, because Ronnie Dio sang the wrong line and I think Vivian Campbell followed him, and that meant that you can notice it yourself. If you watch special for the Spectrum, I'm trying whereabouts it is. I think it's around about the end of the second verse at Stand Up and Shout. Ronnie Dio sings what he sings at the end of the song, and I think Vivian Campbell must have thought, oh no, he's got Ken, I'm going with the singer, whereas everybody else went themselves. But anyway, Ken, get hold of that. Philadelphia Freedom, that one called. This is another interesting one. What's this called? Ronnie's Birthday Show, which is again for the Strange Highways album. Strange Highways tour, another radio broadcast. Same set list. I think there's maybe one song different. I think this has got Give Her the Gun on it. Whereas the one for the Hammersmith Apollo 1993 has got, I can't remember, it's another song. Hollywood Black maybe, I can't remember. But again, decent sound quality, worth getting this one. And there's this one final one here, which is a wild card bonus. If you're really daft for your Dio, if you can't get enough Dio, then look this one up. Yeah, I picked this up for 18 quid for 6 CDs. Again, what's about £3 a CD. And what this is hundreds of different shows for over the course of Dio's career. There's a double CD show. That's the one I'm talking about there, with the Gates of Babylon on it, actually. The 2005 show. Show for 83, one for 87, one for 94, which I think is the same concert that was at Ronnie's birthday party. A show for the Magica tour, and the one for 2005. Now, this can be a bit frustrating because the concerts have been all cut up and presented in different sequence. But again, the sound quality is what it's worth hearing. Oh, hang on, there's my alarm going off my watch. That means it's 9 o'clock. The concerts are out of sequence, but the sound quality is good enough that you can listen to them. It doesn't tell you where the shows are or who played on them or whatever. But if you're into the music, then maybe pick this one up. 18 quid, can't beat it. Pretty good painting of Dio as well there, whoever did that. So anyway, that was my deep dive Dio, the buyer's guide. I think it's the first buyer's guide I've done for probably about 4 years. just not got the time. Ken, who's got the time to sit about talking about records for half an hour? Ken, who's got the time to sit and watch a guy talking about records for half an hour? But I'm getting me bit together in. Ken, I've got my drum kit set up. Ken, there's guitars lying about all over the place. Check this. This is pretty cool, man. I've got my rolling jazz chorus here that's been stuck in the back of a cupboard for about 15 years. So if you're talking about playing Rush, this is the amp for you. I might come on one, Ken, if I ever get it set up, I might get it, come on, play it, let folk hear it in here, Ken, if they're interested in that kind of thing. But really cracking amps. There's my other ones, practice amps. My old Ash down there that's did all the upshot gigs. This keyboard here, my brother-in-law was like, "Carl, I've fun this," and I thought of you, so I've got this Rodeo 32 organ now. Ken Hunter's CDs, DVDs, record player, Ken big microphone, oh, Ken what I mean. But this is the Fortress of Solitude in here. But I've still to get it all up and running, so to do it, Ken. I'm still in the guddle here. There's the bag there with the old upshot bonnet. I was wondering where it had got to, because I hadn't laid eyes on it for a few years, but there you go. Still there. Still fits. Still fits. Is there anything else in there? Oh, that was the other one I bought, the copper one that I bought for Chris. What the hell's that? Oh, I've got a power supply in there. Right, I'm going to bugger off. Anybody that sat through and watched this, Ken, well done. Ken, I take these daft notions to come on and do these things. But the Waynes took a dog for the night. So I think I might actually go down the stair and watch a western, because I've not seen a western for ages, because Doug just pure barks at the horses. So I might do that, and it might be a night for Once Upon a Time in the West, or for a few dollars more, but we'll see. But anyway, I'm going to bugger off. Keep listening to your music or whatever, Ken, David, whatever it is. You're only here the once, so you need to enjoy yourself. So keep doing whatever it is you're doing, and I'm going to bugger off, because that's the back of 9 now. But thank you very much for watching. I'll see you later. Ta-ta.